everybody to a Friday night here with the iRacing Virtual Premier Private Car Service Cup Series, round number 17 of Season 1 here at, well, one of the most famous road courses in NASCAR, Sonoma Raceway, for a 60 grueling laps here tonight. Of course, myself, Joshua Medlock from MaxSpeedTV. Joining me again here tonight is Brandon Browning. Brandon, well, instead of just left turns here tonight, we're going to have to be making some gruesome right turns here as well as they tackle one of two road courses here for the iRacing Virtual Cup Series. What do you think these guys are going to have to endure here this evening as they have now come into their road section of the season?
First thing I believe they're going to have to endure tonight, Josh, is some sore shoulders and arms. This track, a lot of left and right hand turns, as you said, not a whole lot of straightaway. The biggest straightaway you're going to see is just out of the hairpin in the final corner. So there's a lot of left and right hand turns, and it seems like just as soon as you get straight, you're turning again.
Yeah, and you know, there's not much room here for mistakes. You know, if you make a mistake at any point in time, it could definitely cost you the race, as this is the longer version or the newer version of the of Sonoma. Now there is another version, but they're not racing it. The other version is only 1.99 miles. This version is 2.5 miles long, and I believe there's 12 turns here.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, Josh. This is going to be one of the most precise races you have to run as a driver. Everything that you've done up to this point, if you're trying to win, has just trained you to be precise and hit your marks every single corner. Because one corner mess up could be an insane amount of seconds on the racetrack, and it takes you a long amount of time to drive a car down. In one simple mistake in a corner, you lose all the time that you just worked laps to gain.
Oh, yeah. You know, you've got to be very precise. Of course, there are stages here tonight. They are still running their stages, so, you know, we'll see them at least twice get, reconnected with each other side by side for the restarts. But as far as that, that's it. There's no cautions other than the stages. So once they go green, they'll drop green, go to the stage one caution, then, so forth and so on until the end of the race. But stages tonight is going to be 13:26 for stage 1 and 2, and then it's going to be a shootout to the end at lap 60. Air temp of 68, a track temp of 101 here. So right now it's a little warm out there on the track. I do think that that track temp is going to go down some. It's not going to stay in the triple digits. 60 laps, 151.8 miles. I got the tire window, same as fuel. Fuel, though, 20 to 24 laps, so they can make it, definitely. After to stage 1, I'm sure everybody, Brandon, will be coming down to pit road and everything to get tires and fuel. Pit road speed, though, Brandon, 45 miles per hour. Got to be very careful. And pace speed here is 60 miles per hour. Under pacing, it's going to be a little bit longer because it does take a minute and a half or so to get around the track under green. Under pacing, it's going to take almost 3 minutes to get around the track.
Yeah, and the one thing that's key about this, or the two keys that you hit on there in the track race analysis, number one, this kind of has an opposite effect of a lot of other tracks, Josh. The hotter the track here, the tighter the car is, and the less grip you're actually going to have. Whereas, on other tracks, you see it get hot, it gets slick, you have a little bit more grip. It seems like the cooler the track, the better the better grip you have in the front end, and you're able to turn a little bit better. I know when we had a bit cooler, I watched some of the practice this week, and a cooler racetrack allowed these guys actually to be quite a bit faster than they're running now. A lot of those guys that, we're seeing 137s typically at the top of the practice board was a little bit slower than what we've seen the rest of the week. We had a little bit quicker times there. And another thing that you touched on, pit road here. This feels like forever driving down pit road because it's a long pit road and it is a slow pit road, Josh.
Yes, it is a long pit road, a slow pit road. They're going to have to get in and off very, very quickly. But gonna go ahead and bring up the locked in with wins. So far, as of right now, Timothy Latham with 4 wins, Brian Saberry with 2, Oscar Jensen with 1, Zach York with 2, Christopher Kimry with 1, Witherspoon of Joshua Witherspoon with 2, and Dennis Nickel with 1. Of course, we'll go through the rest of the standings here when we come back from the national anthem. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran fast, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the free, in the home of the brave? Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight to invade the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. Stand of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, in the
Well, alrighty, folks, we're back live here on MaxSpeedTV. Qualified, of course, is underway here tonight. We don't have any times yet to come in, as well, Brandon, it takes so long to get around this road course here. Well, we're still waiting on the first of times. So we got some picks here tonight. You made your pick and I made mine during the national anthem. So why don't you go ahead and give everybody who you picked out here tonight?
I'm going with a little bit of a sleeper pick, I believe, on a lot of people's radars. But I'm going with the 74 machine of Christopher Kimry. Watched him a little bit in practice, Josh, and he's running some pretty solid, consistent lap times, which is key here.
All right. Well, that would be Christopher Kimry there. Let's go ahead and bring up the driver bar here for everybody to take a look at. I am actually going to be picking Alex Carl Link here tonight. That is going to be my pick. No pressure, Alex. But he was the quickest in practice, so I think he's got a good understanding of what it's going to take here this evening. And I think he understands what it's going to take, after the first stage and after the second stage as well. And I think he knows what's going to happen. So my pick, yes, is going to be Alex Carl Link as the first times do start to roll in here. It's going to be Justin Boyles right now currently running in the top spot. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that playoff picture here tonight real quick as it stands here currently. Of course, we know about the 7 drivers that are locked in green. Now we've got 8 through 16. That's right there is where it's going to be battling it out for the point standings. For the top 16. Now there is a poll going around right now. I won't go into detail about it, but we could have 17 drivers in the playoffs instead of 16. But I won't go into detail on that right at the moment. Just kind of throwing that out there. But we see Dakota Jorgensen, Dennis Ansman, Chad Winningsman, Philip Lloyd, Justin Boyles, Greg Adney, Greg Klein, Tim Hendry, and Mark Kuda there, Brandon, all 8th through 16th, battling, just trying their best to stay in that cutoff area. Right now, as it would stay, if we started it, Jeremy Boucher, Ted Poulin, Luis Angel Lopez, and everybody behind them would be currently out of the round of 16, possibly 17. We don't know.
I do want to note here, a driver to watch in the playoff race for those fans that keep up every single week with us here. That driver that's making some noise and making up a lot of points quickly is a guy sitting in 17th right now, Jeremy Boucher. He has been doing amazing things on the racetrack. He's not one of these guys that we talk about just blowing everyone away each week, but he's pointing his way up the standings, and he currently, Josh, just sits 2 points outside of being into the playoff.
Oh, yeah, just being outside of it, I mean, right there. Of course, all it's going to take, Brandon, is a win as well. So even if you're outside here in that red area, if you win and then you complete the 18 of the required races or whatever it takes to get in, right now it's 18 at the start of the season at Daytona, then you're going to be set after 18 races. If you've already got that, you're locked in. You don't have to worry about it if you miss 1 or 2 races.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I wanted to add, facts to the mention about Boucher, and not that, I was singling him out of these other drivers, but I do have a stat fact here from our last week's race where we had some broadcast issues. Jeremy Boucher in 5 races has now went from 29th in points up to 17th in points. So he's pushing those playoffs hard, Josh.
Yes, he is. He is really wanting to get himself up there really, really quickly. As we see the times and the qualifying still progressing here. It looks like Dennis Hansman going to put in a really good time there. Going to be starting in 3rd there in the number 16. It looks like he is in the Menards machine from what I'm seeing. I hope I've got everybody's paint out here. But let's go ahead and get that off of there for everybody. And let's kind of take a look at here's who we have out here on the track. It looks like Bob Carroll, Timothy Latham, Tim Hendry out there as well. I think it's going to be a pretty good race here tonight, Brandon. We know these guys are going to have to get prepared for the end of the stage, and they're going to get restarts. They're going to that's all going to play into a big factor here this evening. Looks like Brandon has stepped away here real quick, so we'll let him come back. But right now it's going to still be Justin Boyles up front.
I
And Brandon's
apologize.
back.
I didn't realize I hit the my space bar is my mute button on Discord, and I didn't realize that I'd said something down on the space bar. That's totally my fault.
Rookie move, rookie move.
Yeah, I'm still learning from the best.
Well, while they're still qualifying, let's jump over and chat. Looks like we've got a pretty good turnout in chat here tonight. Looks like Brendan
Saw
Kennedy.
a lot of Dennis Ansman fans down there.
Yeah, Brian Odell, my brother, Jeremy Medlock in chat. Let's see here. We've got Dennis Ansman out there in chat as well. Kathy Ansman. Anybody I'm missing?
I saw my buddy Aaron Nash was up there a moment ago. I'm not sure if he's still hanging out with us as well.
Yeah, Aaron Nash, I seen him. Yeah, there's Kathy Ansman there. All right. All right, well, coming down less than a minute here. Brandon still got some qualifiers out there. I don't know if they're going to have time to put in a time here.
I believe they're running just a little short, maybe able to get one in. I heard him come across the race chatter earlier and ask how the cautions would be, so maybe some strategy, just starting the back early and methodically just pick their way up through the field. They were asking, about the caution situation and things like that. So maybe they've planned some strategy down there to just hang out at the back for a little while and run their race.
Whoa, and we see Tim Hendry hit that alligator there. Boy, that's going to be detrimental. Brandon, don't want to hit those alligators or rumble strips, whatever you want to call them. I call them alligators because, man, they'll just come out and bite you.
Yeah, they play the part of turtle shells in Mario Kart. When you get on those things and you hit the gas, that's it, man. It's gonna kick your car sideways, and it takes a lot to save those. That's what I've always referred to them as, is the turtle shells.
As the turtle shells, well, let's go ahead and get them on the grid here tonight. The Drive for Diabetes Awareness Check, Don't Guess. DFDA.info. Check them out. And the Kepner Boys Trucking Grid Row here this evening. Justin Boyles is going to grab that pole. Congratulations to Justin with a minute 37.226. Benjamin Nee going to be starting on the outside of him in second. Dennis Ansman third. Timothy Latham in fourth. Christopher Kimry fifth. Dennis Nichols sixth. Alex Carl Link going to be starting in seventh. Oscar Jensen in eighth. Zach York ninth. And Dakota Jorgensen going to be starting in 10th. Brandon?
Brian Syberry is going to bring us in 11th place. Martin Kuda in 12th place. Travis Daly in 13th. Chad Gennigsman in 14th. Luis Angel Lopez is going to start 15th. Rick Webb 16th. Jason Tripp in 17th spot. Joshua Witherspoon in 18th. Tim Hendry in 19th. Bob Carroll in 20th. And Jeremy Boucher rounds us out in the 21st position. Josh, I do want to take a moment to touch on top of our picks. You chose Alex Carl Link and I chose Christopher Kimry, but I do want to give a point of notice here to Justin Boyles that grabbed the pole. He has put in, I think every time I've been on Discord this week, he's been at the track. He's been practicing his butt off. He's trying to put on a good show here, and it's starting to show, Josh.
Yes, it really is. I'm kind of curious to see if this is going to be that number 8's night here as well. To get his first win, to get himself locked in. He's finished up in the top several times. Also, of course,
close last
week. Oh yeah, and also had some bad races as well. It just really, his luck hadn't came to him just yet. But could it be tonight, Justin or Brandon? I called you Justin. I got Justin on my mind. Could it be Justin's night, Brandon? I mean, really, could it?
I do believe this is a solid shot for Justin. Again, as we touched, any of these guys can make a simple mistake and it can change the outcome. But I think Justin has been practicing. Like I said, he's been practicing as hard as anyone this week, and he's got the taste of that win, Josh, and he wants it so bad. And on top of my pick of Christopher Kimry, I'm pulling for that 8 car Boyles tonight. I'm hoping he finally breaks through.
So you're gonna try your best to pick 2, but you're gonna hold on to Christopher Camry too, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to Kimry
Okay,
because
all right.
he's kind of piqued my interest in lap times. But I'm hoping for Boyles he can get up there and he can show him, he's up there with the best of them.
Well, if I had to pick another one and it was legal, which it is legal, but I don't like picking 2 drivers. But if I could pick one, I would go with the 14 of Rick Webb. I like going with the underdogs, man. I would love to see some of these drivers come out here and just whip the snot out of some of the best of the the drivers.
Some guys that you don't see up there, and we'll make it legal tonight. We'll stick with those 2 picks and change it out. We changed the style. We don't not just turning left tonight, so we'll change the picks as well.
Yeah, we're gonna we'll keep with our 2. But just try to throw out an extra pick for everybody out there. It looks like we've got, of course, some picks from, Dennis Ansman. We've got a pick for, I'm not sure, Webb. We got a pick for Webb as well here tonight. My brother picked Webb, so.
I think that's a good solid pick. I saw Brian Odell out there. He picked Ansman and Latham on this one, so he's got some good picks out there. He's trying to pick the winner of this one early.
Well, the most gruesome part of this track here tonight is going to be the pacing, for sure. For us. For the drivers, it's going to be every single turn that they endure here this evening as we make our way down into the final corner, coming around this sharp right-hand turn 13 or 12 here tonight. Waiting for that green flag to fly, but Justin is going to be on the loud pedal. Boogity, 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 folks. We're racing at Sonoma.
This is the trickiest part of every run is just, you have cars in front of you, Josh. You got cars behind you. Oh, a little bit of contact
the
here.
74, the 00. Yep, getting loose. 74 off into the gravel. The 00. I'm going to be able to get around, but that did not help that number 74 any at all. Christopher Camry, as he goes all the way back to 15th. And we're already doing, Dennis off again. Oh,
this
man.
corner right here, this right-hander into the inner loop was the hardest corner that I had to figure out running the qualifier series last night. It's so hard to make that right-hand turn there, especially for these guys that have been driving for a while, Josh, that are used to going straight and not cutting through the inner loop.
Yeah.
Now we cut right. We've got another driver off up here. It looks like the 33 is Cyberry.
Cyberry, yep. Not to interrupt you there, but,
Oh, you're fine.
Brian Cyberry getting a little bit loosey-goosey. Now, this is open setups. This ain't fixed, so everybody is on a complete different setup. Rick Webb, the 10, the 33, the 14, all off the track. It looks like the 14 wasn't off the track, but he managed to capitalize off the mistakes that had happened around him. He's going to move up into 15th. He's going to get up a position here early on.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing, while we're close here like we are, it's easy to get those quick spots, but as we get spaced out, and I don't want to wish bad on anyone, but as a driver, and you see these cars start to space out, what you're preying on is those cars who do get off track like that, Josh. That's the easiest way, obviously, as cliche as it sounds, it's the easiest way to gain positions.
Yep.
And I'm sure you want all your competitors to run a clean race, but that is the best way to get a few spots.
Yeah, and it's also the best way to lose spots as well.
Yeah, that is for sure. Boyles got a little bit sideways that time, turning down into the inner loop.
Yes, he did. He did lead the first lap, but he's got Dennis Hansman and Benjamin D right there on his tail. This is where it's going to get difficult. Are you going to be able to, make the passes, Brandon? It is so hard to pass. You have got to time it just right, not only for your sake, but for whoever is on the outside of you, like now, Dennis to the inside of Justin. Oh, the 97 going around. Benjamin D.
I was just getting ready to touch on that point there. The hardest thing and when you get close to another car, is not pushing just a little too hard, trying to make those passes, Josh. When you're spaced out, it's easy to hit your rhythm, but when you start getting close to those cars, and you have to set up the perfect pass, that's where it becomes difficult. We see the leader running off track now, headed down the hill.
Oh, no. Well, that's going to put Justin back to the lead. I think Dennis is going to be looking at that like, oh, man, that mistake right there just cost me the lead again. Dennis not able to get this lap led. It's going to be Justin again. Going to lead the second lap of the race here this evening. Dennis almost had it, and then coming down that hill, into the final corner there, that sharp right-hander, and that's a hairpin turn. You're doing about what? About 30, 35 miles an hour?
Yeah, on a good turn, and that's if you nail it just right and you're able to stick to the inside. If you get a little bit in there a little bit too hot and you have to slide to the outside, you'll do it even slower than that. And it's a long run down that little bit of a straightaway that you have there across the start-finish line to pick the gas back up and not lose the rear end of the race car. Good close racing here so far. We still have about 6 drivers all together in this front group before we see a breakaway back to 7th and 8th there. 9th place, all kind of close together. Interesting to see here. I think we said lap 13 was going to be the first break. So that's, it seems, it seems like 13 laps doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're making this many turns, that's a long run, Josh.
Yeah, you've got 12 turns, and you're going to be pulling 13 laps. So we're going to do some mathing with Medlock here for everybody. 12 turns, you times that by 13 laps. That's 156 turns you're making before the end of stage 1.
Yeah, and you're going to redo it again in stage 2, and then we'll catch it later on stage 3. That's a crazy amount of turns when we get to stage 3.
Timothy, whoa! Dennis goes a little bit wide there. That allowed Timothy Latham to get around. Dennis going to battle here with Oscar Jensen for third. Looks like Oscar is going to overtake that number 16. Well, that has allowed Alex Carl Link up to the inside of the 16. A little bit of rubbing going on there between Alex and Dennis.
Yeah, it looked like there may have been a little bit of contact, and that just goes to show, we saw Ansman in 2nd place, and he got just a little outside of his groove, and from there, he lost 3 spots.
Yeah, we're watching behind Dennis is going to be Zach York in the number 49. Oh, if I can get back up there to him. Has gained a couple of spots from 9th to 6th. The biggest question, though, now we see, we know there's no regular cautions, Brandon, but these drivers are always, or they're going to be looking for that stage caution. That way they can come down pit road, get the tires, get the fuel, get bunched back up together, and then hopefully make their move. I would say probably after the second stage. They may even try it after the first stage with it only being 60 laps.
Yeah, my guess is you're exactly right. Stage 1 and 2 here tonight are going to be pretty much a learning experience for these drivers to know what they can do in traffic, know what they can do out of traffic, be able to run around race cars that maybe they didn't get a run around in practice earlier today before the race and then earlier this week. Not everyone's on the same schedule. So they're still learning the cars, they're learning how they run around specific drivers. And I think you're right. I think right now you're just you want to gain a few spots because track position is key in making it to the front. But more than anything else, you're just seeing what you have compared to those cars around you.
Oh yeah, well, we're gonna go cockpit here in about a lap or two with the driver to give everybody an idea what Sonoma is. Now, if I had to watch a road course, I hate road courses. Justin knows that. I think everybody knows that by now. But if I had to choose a road course to call, it would have to be probably Sonoma because of the way Sonoma is shaped. Now, Watkins Glen is unique in itself as well, but everybody knows Watkins Glen. It's one of the most famous road courses, I would say, in NASCAR, aside from Sonoma. But Sonoma is not It's used, but it's not used like Watkins Glen is. So there's more action in Sonoma.
I agree with you 100%. My favorite one to call would have to be Sonoma. Now, my favorite one to drive, just as you mentioned it a moment ago, is Watkins Glen. I've drove that one so much over the years that I know it like the back of my hand. So typically, I guess that's why it's my favorite. But this would be hands down my favorite road course to call. Now, the pass for third, your pick, Alex Carl Link coming on the right side of Oscar Jensen for third. He's making his way to the front.
Yeah, that is my pick. One of the drivers. I seen how quick he was in practice, and I think tonight he's gonna really shine. Of course, like I said, everybody, getting a little bit too wide there. Boy, that has allowed Oscar to really close that gap again on that number 25 and the 16 also of Dennis Ansman right there with him. Ooh.
Every time I tense a little bit every time they start getting close to those quarter panels on the driver in front of them.
Oscar going around up into the grass on the hill. No, getting back on the gas a little bit too hard. Might even be a little bit too soon. He's going to fall back tonight. He is still on the grass, trying to get it up there on the pavement there. Now he's going to be able to do it.
We got a new leader out front as well, Josh.
Timothy Latham going to get around Justin Boyles. Yep. Question is, can Timothy keep it?
I don't think it's done yet. That 25 car is showing some speed here early, and there you saw at the top of the hill, man. They really kind of closed that gap in. But back to the point on Oscar, I wish I had $1 for every time I done exactly what Oscar just did last night. That turn is so tough, and honestly, it seems, maybe for those who don't race iRacing as much, that seems like complicated thing to do, but I can assure you it's super, super easy to get off right there.
Well, you'll never see me race at a road course. I've tried it. I may go in by myself with no cars on track, just to show everybody how bad I am.
15 car back in the pack there, Travis Daly.
Ooh.
Or Daly, sorry. Travis Daly got off the track there a little bit. Looked like he jumped the corner right in the top of the middle of the S curves.
Struggle beyond the decade 15. He's going to get past there by Jeremy Boucher, as of course they come to that sharp right-hander, turn number 12 here tonight. And, a good turn there by Jeremy, good turn there by Travis, both of them edging out, staying on that inside, right next to those alligators, the turtles, the rumble strips, really whatever you want to call them. Call them to mess up your car if you want to, because that's what they'll do.
That's what they're best for. Good little battle shaping up here amongst Ansman, Zach York, and Dakota Jorgensen, all running tight together there. They've got a rough little battle going on. I think Jorgensen might be a little bit faster, wanting to catch up with his two teammates that are at the front of the field here, and putting some pressure on that 49 of Zach York, Josh.
Yeah, he's putting some pressure on there. Doesn't look like it's too much pressure, but just enough. Let's go ahead. When they come down here, we're going to go ahead and ride along with, who do we ride along with here tonight? We ride along here with Flying Arrows machine of the 97 of Benjamin D here for a lap around Sonoma. Now they're going to be coming up, of course, on this, if you want to call it a front stretch. Benjamin D is going to cross the line here to take lap number 8. And this hill, oh man, this hill is treacherous. You got to downshift, but yet keep your RPMs high enough to where when you get it back up on the gas, you're not going to spin it. And then down through some more S's and some more hills here. That's what I call Sonoma. It's nothing but hills and S's.
Yeah, and you could really hear, if you listen close in on that 97 machine, you could hear, and even watching, you can see just how much these cars slide around here. This big carousel headed downhill in just a moment here. Just a big slide job is all it is, even down to the flat, to this next little straightaway we got. Hard back on the gas, and then we're going to be, I think the technical carousel is the corner they're coming up to here.
Yes.
This is a tough one. Oh, he executed it way better than I would have, so I got to give him credit for that. A little bit slippery headed down into the S's.
And then, of course, the
Greatest
long
opportunity. Greatest opportunity right there to
we
carry.
got a driver in the
Whoa!
24 right up ahead of him getting loose. That is going to be Dakota Jorgensen there. Then we come around this front stretch or the stretch here. Of course, back down into turn number 13 or 12. Why do I call it turn 13? I might be thinking of Road America.
Zach York right in front of him.
Yeah,
I tell you,
Zach
riding
York.
around with Benjamin D, it's doing him some good right now. He's picking off a few easy spots here. If he watches the broadcast back after the race, he may wish we rode along with him for the whole race.
Probably. Well, he got around another teammate there. Going to be Zach York.
Should put him up inside the top 5 now in the 5th spot.
Nah, it ain't going to take 9 hours, bub.
It feels like it when you're in the car, but
Feels like
it won't
yeah.
take that long watching it.
Yep. Jake out there in chat. I still can't pronounce Jake's last name, so we're just going to call him Jake, as I always do, per the usual. Jake out there joining in here this evening, but Timothy Latham now coming down into turn 1,346. Trust me, I don't know the turns. All I know is the last turn. Even though I call it turn 13, it's the last turn.
It's so hard to call the technical amount of turns here with the lefts and the rights and the quick lefts and the quick rights. It's quick here. Oh, Boyle's just a little too wide as he tries to chase down his teammate. Good recovery there. It's so easy to finish spinning the car around, but he done a fantastic job there. I'm telling you, I believe you made a solid pick, though, Josh. Alex Carlink showing his stuff here early.
Yep, he's edging up ever so closer to Justin Boyles and Timothy Latham. But here at about 3 laps, well, 4, because they'll have to complete lap 13. But we'll, of course, be coming to the end of stage number 1. And I think right now you've got to set yourself up for stage 2. But going into stage 2 and then getting ready for the final stage, you've really got to complete that setup. And I think right now that's what Alex is doing. He is trying to, set himself up for stage 2, but yet trying to set himself up really for the final stage here. He gets a little loose there, but still holds on strong. And really, who is setting up where? That's the big question.
Yeah.
We're not driver. Well, I'm not a driver. Now, you are. What would you do in a situation like this? Your thoughts as a driver.
As a driver, I mean, you hit it right on the head. This is a couple short runs here to really see what you've got. But ultimately, if I'm Alex Carlink, and just speaking in his manner right now, I see these two guys up here that they're good drivers. They're battling right now as we speak into the final hairpin. Boyle's going to go back by the 5 of Timothy Latham, but as you see these cars battle, and I'm the 3rd car of Alex Carlink, all I see is stage points right now, Josh.
Oh,
Couple
yeah,
more
stage
laps,
points. Yep.
and I can grab some stage points.
Yep, yeah, right now I believe it's, the stages, the top, is it the top 10 or are they doing top 5? I think it's top 10, isn't it?
If I'm not mistaken, it is the top 5. Either way, as long as he can hold on here, he's getting a few valuable stage points. We're going to go back and forth here. Latham looked to the outside of Boyles for the lead. They're having fun out there. I wish I could be, just in that team chat just to hear the fun that those guys are having right now. Biggest mover a little further back, we got Jeremy Boucher, who started shotgun on the field. The final position, he's made his way 9 spots up to 12th here in the first stage. So a great run so far for Boucher as well.
Yep. The number 4, that is Bobby Boucher's brother. Now, I don't know if Bobby has taught Jeremy anything about using the anger to his advantage or not. But we might, have to talk to Jeremy about that and see if his brother taught him anything. Because we know Bobby, one of the best water boys out there, I'm sorry, I'll shut up before I get a copyright. But Jeremy Boucher, yeah, Norse Force out there running really strong, up to 12.
Yeah, he's putting on a great little run here early, and really showing what he's got behind that race car, and showing again, like we mentioned with Boyles, that his practice has paid off. I tell you, man, though, we're gonna go back to what we were talking about before. These guys are getting all they can get right now.
Now Alex Carl Link Cass closed the gap ever so much more to the number 5 of Latham. Oh!
Letting him know that he's there.
Oh! A little bit of a love tap coming from the 25. Oh, Travis
15 car off track.
Having a problem. Oh, no.
Luckily, though, for that 15 machine, if he can hold on for 2 more laps, we'll get a reset here. Hopefully, he didn't get too much damage.
Did they get a reset?
No, they don't get a fast repair, but
okay.
So to speak, as in a reset being that they'll get another shot to line back up close. All that time that he lost, as long as he doesn't have damage, he'll get a gain that back.
Well, let's get back here to Travis Dowley. It looks like a little bit of damage, but it doesn't look like it's too bad on that number 15. But, yeah, they're going to go ahead and here in the next
Should
2
be coming
laps.
To 1 to go this time.
Yep, they will be coming to take lap 13. Russo, okay. Well, Justin Boyles down to turn 12. I got it right this time. Coming to take lap 13 here this time by. Can Justin hold on for 1 more lap? 12 turns as we go 1 to go for stage number 1 here tonight. I don't know if he's nervous or, hopefully he's not thinking about it. Hopefully he can just hit his marks. But I don't know. It's going to be all on Justin right now up front to get the stage win. And you can tell.
I'm not sure if he's thinking too much about being nervous. I'd say right now all of his focus is seeing that final hairpin turn and knowing he gets a moment to breathe. Well,
he's got a teammate there behind him. So does that help in a sense?
Absolutely. And it's it's a feel good moment as well. A lot of these guys that he has held behind him through this race have been strong competitors. Zach York, Dennis Ansman, Timothy Latham, Benjamin D. All these guys have been so strong, and I think that overpowers everything else as we see him, lead us down the hill now through the S's, coming into the final turn. I believe that's a feel good moment. That's kind of, I want to say, has his nerves a little on the calm side. That it's a feel good moment that his practice is paying off.
Well, coming around turn number 12 here this evening. He's going to take those rumble strips, and he is going to use them to his advantage, but he's going to be on the loud pedal. Justin Boyles, though, is going to come across the stripe this time by to win stage number 1 here this evening. And we'll, of course, wait for that caution to come out.
Had a little bit of a Dennis on Dennis battle there as Ansman slid wide coming down to the final turn and allowed Dennis Nickel to slide by.
And there is the caution. Justin Boyles going to win stage 1 here this evening. What a run for Justin here. Now, of course, we're going to go ahead and let them come down pit road because, Brandon, I'm assuming they will.
Yeah, I can just about. The only thing, and really, I mean that seems silly to even say. The only thing, if you're trying to do it, I don't think we see any weird varying strategies here. Maybe at the end of stage 2, we see some guys pit right before the pit cutoff line. Of course, they can't pit beyond 2 to go. The pits are closed for the stage.
Yes. Yeah.
But maybe at the end, right before that, we see some strategy. Maybe guys trying to think. If you look at it that way, you're definitely going to have to pit in stage 3. You're going to have at least one pit stop
Yeah,
there.
I don't
So maybe we
think
see some strategy there.
I don't think you can make it and stay in the final stage. I don't know. Uh,
26 to
are the
60,
laps gonna
34
count?
laps.
That's the thing. Are the
Yeah.
laps okay? So that's really definitely going to play a factor in coming to the end.
It'll be close. I think we
It'll
had our
be
pit window at
close.
20 to 24 laps.
Yeah, 20
And that's going to
24
put you right about
laps.
34 without the caution laps. So, fuel
Okay.
strategy, my favorite type of races.
Yeah. Fuel strategy. Well, it's going to come down to fuel and tires too.
Yeah,
and
and tires. Yeah, tires are a must.
You don't want to burn your tires up. I don't know where that pace car is. Did Justin catch up to it yet? Yep, there he is, just now getting up to the pace car. We'll, of course, let him make his pit stop here. We'll bring him up here for an interview for winning stage 1. But what a run there by Justin, holding off Timothy Latham and, of course, Alex Carl Link as well, who kind of let Timothy know, hey, you mess up, I'm behind you. I'm going to give you this little love tap to hopefully you mess up. But, Timothy's such a great driver, held on to it, so, man, could I also be getting my first win, my first pick here tonight?
You could. I'm telling you, I've thought about that entire run and watching that 25 car. I think that's a solid pick. I really do, and I kudos to you, for making that pick because he's done well through the first stage here.
All righty, folks. Well, they're going to make their pit stops. We're going to play a quick commercial break side by side here tonight. All righty, folks, we are back here. Let's go ahead and pull up Justin Boyles. I know he is busy catching the pace car, but Justin, man, congratulations on stage winning here tonight, stage 1. Man, awesome job, buddy. How does it feel out there?
It feels good. The track's cooled down, I think. It wasn't quite as slick as it was in some of our practices. But, yeah, man, I mean, everything's good. Made a couple mistakes there in the first stage, but I got the speed to hang with them, come back and get them. So far, so good.
Well, we got another stage coming up here. I mean, we got some fast drivers, though, around you. Do you think you have something to hold them off?
I hope so. I know Alex was pretty quick there as the run went on, and I know Tim's quick. I knew that from the beginning. Even though we're teammates, our sets are vastly different, so it'll be interesting to see who prevails here. But we'll see what happens. It's a long race. Got a good ways to go. I'm glad I got the stage win. Hopefully, get another one here. I need the points, and we'll see what happens.
Yep, Justin.
Gave you a little bit of kudos there. Every time I got on Discord this week, man, you was practicing your butt off, and it's showing here. Good run so far, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, buddy.
Good luck, Justin.
All right, man. Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Well, we don't want to keep them because, it is road course. It ain't an oval. A lot different.
Yeah. It's I think glad we were able to get him back down there. I'm hearing. I think they had a little bit of issue. The pace car gave him 1 to green, I believe, a little bit quicker than they wanted. So I think that was why he was trying to get everything sorted out in that manner.
Oh, okay. Well, they are going to get that 1 to go here this time by. It is going to be Justin Boyles. Going to be on the inside. We see the jump Justin got on the start of the race. Do you think that inside line is the preferred line here at Sonoma, or do you want to be on the outside or I don't know. Is it inside? It's one of the lines.
We'll call it left and right to make it easy. On the left-hand side, I think you definitely do want that. Feel good moment for the first 2 rows here are obviously teammates starting side by side. Any other time, yes, you're absolutely right. You're going to want that left-hand side when you're coming to the start line. You're going to want the left-hand side because you have that weird half left-hand turn right past the start-finish line, which allows you to really get clear of the second-place car. Now, in, I guess, turn 2, as it would be, when you get to the top of the hill, you're obviously going to want the right side. So if Boyles and Latham, some of those other cars go through there side-by-side, that car on the right-hand side will be in the preferred line. But, yes, I think right off the rip, Josh, you're exactly right. You're going to want that left-hand side.
All right, going to be going in for stage 2 here. Of course, Brandon will be the one getting them going. I'm just going to throw you on the spot right now.
That's totally fine.
But we are going to be coming down to the S's here momentarily. And, of course, we've got that final sharp corner. But you got to stay as bunched up as close as you possibly can so the driver in front of you or around you does not get the run.
Yeah, and that's, that's the big thing is doing exactly what you feel you have to do to get the run, but not put yourself in a weird spot either. You don't want to compromise your position as we come down the hill here. All those emotions that we felt through the first run are back. You're going into the final turn. You're going to see this pace car here, Josh. He's going to make his left-hand turn to pit road, and it's going to be back under the control of the 8 car, followed by his teammate in the 5 through the hairpin. We'll see just when that 8 car goes. He's going to be hard back to the throttle momentarily. Here we go. Justin Boyles again on the jump, taking us to the green flag. Zach York going to get a fantastic restart. Going to stay just on the quarter panel there. Look like Timothy's going to clear him, and we're right back to single file through the front few, Josh.
Yeah, I don't think this single file is going to last long, though.
No, just as I say that, we got a couple cars peeking there. I believe that's Dennis Nickel in the 00 trying to gain a few early here.
Go up the hill and into that right-hander.
Tough spot to be on the... Okay, they're going to get single file. I was going to say it's a tough spot to be side-by-side in this corner here, but they sorted it out. Going to go back to single file down through the sweeping left-hand turn here. Great restart. I want to give every one of these guys a high five, so to speak, virtually, of course, for the way they did that restart. They kept it clean, and they're doing their racing now.
Well, I asked beforehand, if, because road courses are a little bit different on iRacing. There are no actual cautions, only local enforced. But my biggest thing is, and as we see a battle back here between Zach York and company, Zach going to fall back a spot there as Dennis Nickel is going to take over third. But you're getting the start of the race, and you're side by side, and you all come down into turn number 1, and everybody piles it up into turn 1. The track's blocked, everything's blocked.
Oh, car sliding off the track.
Well, who is that?
I will
Zach
get back
York.
To your question. Zach York trying to get that spot back, but Oh, another car in the hairpin around. It looks like the other flying arrow up there. Benjamin D gonna get around. Oh, they're stacked up in the in the
Yes,
hairpin.
they
Sorry.
are.
Great recovery by all of those drivers. Every single one of them was able to get it back going. But continue on with your question, Josh. I'm sorry.
Well, what do you do if everybody piles it up into turn number one? Do you throw a caution and let everybody get sorted back out, or do you just let them go as well? Oh, no, Timothy getting turned by the double zero.
The double zero into the 5 car.
That is going to be a MaxSpeedTV replay here tonight, the first one of the night. Because we've got to see what happened here to, of course, the 5 and the double zero. As I'm taking a look at it here, it looks like the 5 right up ahead. They get bunched up here through this heel S's, as I like to call it. They look like they're okay here. The double zero looks like it's going to go into the inside, as well as the 5 also going to go back to the inside. I don't know exactly what kind of transpired here between these two drivers, but yet contact is made. That sends the 5 around. The double zero going to go off into the grass. It looks like both of them did keep it off of the tires there and back up onto the track, but Timothy Latham is going to be getting the rough end of the stick there as he falls back to 13th.
Yeah. After watching that back there,
sideways.
Josh.
The 91.
A lot of cars. Jason Tripp. Can't see the number on the other car there. A lot of cars around involved in that one there.
Well, let's go back and take a look here at what happened to Tripp.
As you pull that replay up, it looked like a little bit of patience between teammates there, and I guess you had the double zero behind with a little less patience, just trying to get those spots while he was close.
All right, we're going to be up on Jeremy Boucher here because I know Jeremy was involved in this as well. We'll see what happened to Jeremy. Oh, he comes out of the corner or goes into the corner, just loses it, and then Jason Tripp comes into the corner. I don't know if he realized that something was going on or whatever. We see the 4, the 49 there. And the 91 just loses it and right into the 4 of Jeremy Boucher. So, yeah, we do see that starting to happen. Looks like Christopher Kimry also having another issue there.
Yeah, I was just about to call that one out as well. Looked like he got through that. Come down on that sweeping left-hand turn just a little too hot. Maybe he got the back end out from under him there. These are the mistakes that I guess as long as you don't pick up a lot of damage, you want now and not in that final stage. You have one more chance to catch back up and regroup. So you want to make all the mistakes you're going to make now and get them out of the way before that final stage, Josh.
Yep, and we see the longer this run goes on, coming up, of course, on lap 26 at about 6 to go. We see Alex Carl Link as the run goes on. He's already made his move back up to 6. Coming up on Dakota Jorgensen there. A little bit of a gap there between Dakota and Oscar. And then Dennis Ansman going to be in 3rd. Dennis Nickel in 2nd. But right now, Justin Boyles is, well, he's kind of ran away with the with stage 2 here right now.
Yeah, that he has. He's holding about just over, it looks like a 3-second lead maybe to the double zero. He's doing his thing very well, and want to give a real quick shout out. These guys here have made it a really fun race so far to watch. Last night we had a couple of guys that practiced their butt off in the qualifier series, and they ran away with it. I think he won by like a minute and 20 seconds. So these guys all came, I guess, better prepared than everybody else than what we had last night.
Wow.
That guy was on rails.
Now, the Thursday night, y'all race on Thursday nights. Is that an open set as well?
Yes, sir. It is an open set race. The difference is we do not do the stage breaks like they do. We just ran 40 laps straight through, which allowed I think it was Nick Ramsey and Tanner Kalin. So shout out to those guys, both him and his teammate. They were teammates, and they ran off and left us, man. They put together a beautiful race, and I know some incidents happened with Tanner in the 44 machine. Ooh, we're gonna see Jorgensen
Yeah.
get off track a little bit.
Yeah, that's who I was on there.
A lot of these guys, just back to what you pointed out in stage one, Josh, I think now we're seeing a lot of these mistakes. And, as a spectator, you may not think about it as much. They're seeing how hard they can push their cars. They're seeing what the edge is in every single corner, so they know they can run this final stage as fast as possible.
Yeah,
So that's where these mistakes are coming from.
Yeah, you've got to push it at some point. You've got to figure out what you can and can't do. If you just keep it to where, I know I can do it, that could break it for you.
Yeah,
so you've really got to push
yourself
it.
short.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the exact way that I would point that out. You sell yourself short. Oh, we got another car on the wall up there at the top of the hill.
Oh, the 14 and the 77.
Rick Webb, it looks like. I think Rick Webb just got a little too far out there on that corner, but I think selling yourself short is the exact way to mention that. You have to see where your boundaries are with pushing the race car, and this is a perfect time to do that. Another 13-lap stint to lap 26. Beautiful time to do that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oscar Jensen getting a little racy here, trying to take that third spot away from Dennis Ansman late in this stage here.
Yep,
and then your guy yet again. I know we've mentioned him a bunch. Alex Carl Link up the fifth, looking
right
for third.
There. Yes, he is. Oscar Jensen, Dennis Ansman there. And then, of course, Dennis and Nickel. A little bit of gap, though, between Dennis Nickel and Dennis Ansman. Where you see the battle here is between Oscar Jensen, Dennis Ansman, the 25 of Alex Carl Link. I would not count out Benjamin D, though, because he is...
the 25 car going to go around.
Oh, no, Alex Carl Link, no!
Oh, and he's in such a terrible spot to try to get that car whipped back around. I think he's going to be good to
He's
go.
okay. He is okay.
He's good. He's good.
But
Lost a couple spots, but...
Gonna go back
nothing to worry about.
Ninth. Christopher Kimberly back at about 19 and a half seconds. Well, now down to 6.4 seconds as Alex gets it back going again. But right now it's been Justin Boyles up front. And if Justin can
Mark
just...
Kuda going to go around in the 77, I believe.
Oh, Kuda!
Oh, Zach York hard into the tire barrier just in front of that chaos a little bit here.
Oh, no! We're going to go back and take a look here. Let's go cockpit here with Zach York to kind of see what transpired in front of him. That way we can kind of catch both here.
Yeah, I think he had the best view for that 77 car spinning around.
All right. Well, we're going to see here with Zach York. Want to watch that. See here, it looks like both of them are okay here. And then down into the corner, and we see the 77 snap loose there, and Zach tries to save it, tries to correct it hard into the tires. What a hard hit there for Zach York for sure. But they get it back going again. Everybody's A-okay. Oh, we got Oscar Jensen down pit road. He had to back up, but...
I was seeing who that was. That goes. We got another car, Zach York, also making a pit stop here. This goes back to what we were talking about. We're getting close. I think we're one...
Go ahead.
One lap... Oh, you're fine. One lap away from that cutoff to where you can't pit.
Yep.
This is a strategy we mentioned earlier. These guys are going to play. We saw Zach York. He just hit the pits. We just saw him spin out on the track. He's got to gain that position back somehow, and I think that was a great strategy by the 49 and the 51.
Yep, 49 down pit road, and it is such a long, gruesome pit road here. We see some guys coming down pit road here, going ahead and making the pit stops early here in about 3 laps. They will be, of course, at the end of stage number 2. Brandon, it's been a good race for a road course. It's been all Justin really up front right now. He's doing what he has to do really to stay up front.
we haven't really talked much about him this run because he's kind of been in his own zip code, so to speak. But I think he's got a lot of knowledge, just like these other cars back here pushing their issue, trying to see what they got. Justin's doing the same thing up here in the front. He's seeing just how far he can push that car to stretch the lead out. And, right now he's starting to get moving into stage 3. Mark Kuda around again there. Looks like he made contact.
Well, let's go back and take a look and see what happened to Kuda again.
I think that same
Kuda's
part of the track might have been him.
He's just not having a good race right now.
No, that's the most frustrating part about it is I guarantee you Mark Kuda knows exactly how to drive this track, but sometimes you just pick the throttle up at the wrong time, don't pick it up soon enough, pick it up too late. And these simple things, they just come back and they hurt.
Or don't pick it up at all.
Yeah. That's the worst one.
Oh, he just comes
Dennis
into
Nickel.
I'm on Mark Kuda here, and he come into the S's there, and it just loses it, goes into that inside wall, and then you said something about Dennis and Nickel as well.
His wasn't as bad as Kuda's. He just got a little bit of the wall there and lost his position to Ansman. He was able to keep it gathered up, and Benjamin D gave him a little bit of room, a little bit of patience there to make sure he got it going. I didn't mean to cut off your replay there, Josh.
Yeah, well, nice. Respect. Hey, it's all good, man. Road courses are a little bit different from ovals.
Yeah.
Oh, Nickel getting loose again.
Ansman wipes it in the hairpin.
Oh, no.
Oh, that was hard contact for that 16 machine. I think he's going to lose. Looked like he might have lost his hood on that one.
A position as well. Let's go back and take a look at the Menard 16 machine of Dennis Ansman. Of course, we see the 00 there getting loose, but we're going to be on Dennis Ansman here coming to that last turn, that hairpin, turn number 12. That is where Dennis has that mistake, and I've talked about mistakes. That is not what you want to have.
Especially not that close to the end of the stage. He just had to get that corner.
Hard into the tire. Man, hard into the tires. Well, Justin Boyles, of course, took that white flag for the end of the stage. And he's got a 4.3 second lead over Benjamin D. If Justin does not win the stage here, then I think me and Justin need to have a talk.
He's got a little bit of comfortability right now over Benjamin D, who has capitalized there and took the second spot. I do apologize. I thought that was lap 26 there. They were coming to start lap 26 when that happened.
Start lap 26.
This will be the end of the stage.
Yeah, this will be the end of the stage here. This time about looks like Alex Carl Link on pit road. But Justin Boyles, well, he's going to be coming down to that final sharp right-hand turn for the second time here tonight. I think we can go ahead and say it. Justin Boyles is going to win stage 2 here this evening. Well, of course, let him cross the stripe here. There it is. He will win stage 2. He swept the stages, but can he sweep the race?
I believe so. I believe this might be. Well, I don't want to say that just yet because I do have to give kudos to Timothy Latham. We saw him go around early in that stage, was able to race his way back to, it looks like 6th place, unless it hasn't updated for me. So big comeback for him. He was right on the tail of
Timothy Latham. He is in 6th.
Okay. So he was right on the tail of his teammate Jorgensen and Ansman. Another couple laps there, he might have been able to slide into the 4th spot. But Justin, man, he's looked strong so far.
All right. Well, these guys still racing it up here, but Brian, please stop retracting your messages there, bud. I do appreciate it. You are a mod. You do not have to retract your messages. So, but Brandon, yeah, we're going to go ahead and let him pit here. We're going to take another commercial break. Probably the last one here tonight because it takes so long to get around the track. So, Brandon, man, I guess we're going to get back at it here, coming to the final stage here after they make their pit stops and, of course, after this commercial break. Alrighty, guys, we're back here live, back on MaxSpeedTV. Let's go ahead and get him up here. Of course, he is won stage 1 and 2. He has won stage 2 here tonight. Justin Boyles, man, capitalizing on the stages. But now to the final state of the race, buddy. Talk about it.
There's only one checker flag I want, and it's the one we're about to grab here in about 32 laps. I tell you, it's a little. That one was a little easier when Tim and Dennis had their incident, but unfortunate for Tim. I don't really know what happened there. So, but we'll see what we got, man. I know some guys they pitted right before the stage, so I'm actually not going to restart first here. After I pit.
Oh, you haven't pitted?
No, we're coming around here to we're trying to let the field bunch up. The stages, the stage cautions, the full course cautions at road courses are a little funny on iRacing.
Okay.
So,
all
but
right, well,
right here, so
It's been a blast, Justin.
All right, buddy, we're gonna let you pit here, man. Good luck.
All right, guys.
All right, they're pitting, and on a road course, I definitely don't want to keep them up here.
Yeah, this is the weirdest pit road out of all the tracks. And
Yeah.
well, I won't say out of all the tracks because out of all the NASCAR tracks, we'll say it that way.
Yeah, out of all the NASCAR twacks, twacks, we'll just keep it at twacks here. Tracks. It looks like Zach York is going to stay out. So that's going to put Zach up in the lead. You said
Did
Jensen?
Oscar pit? Yeah, he pitted right before that day. Yeah, he's on pit road as well. I'm not sure. Maybe he was just close on fuel. Maybe didn't take as much fuel. And we saw him on pit road as well right before the stay. Well, he took 2 tires here. He's going to beat those guys off pit road. I'm sure that was a 2-tire stop for Jensen. Maybe fuel, actually, maybe just fuel only to gain some track position. Because I was going to say, I remember seeing him right before we come to go. He was on pit road, so.
Well, the stages are done. We come down to the final state of the race. It looks like, I would say, okay, they're on lap 29 here. They're going to probably come around one more time for lap 30, maybe 31. So 28 or so laps left.
Yeah.
Roughly.
A little bit more than we've seen, of course, in the stages so far. Saw 13 and 13, so a little bit more coming this time.
Man, I hate to see it, but Alex Carl Link has taken his car behind the wall.
Oh no!
No!
Such a solid run for him. I hate to see that, and hopefully, it wasn't something. Hopefully, it was just an on-track issue, and he didn't have any issues elsewhere. That he had to jump out for. So we're hoping that was just an on-track issue, that maybe some damage or something. But you hate to see that, Josh. I mean, I have to say it. So far, aside from Boyles, maybe the second best car on the track. He'd come through the field a few times.
Yeah.
Solid pick there.
I'm kind of wondering, though, with Justin not being up front, now Zach and Oscar now up front, is Justin going to be able to, now they can't make it to the end. Are they going to be able to, is he going to be able to come down and, at a certain time, I don't know that time, make his pit stop, get back out on track, get back around and take the lead and complete that sweep here tonight. It's going to be so tough for Justin Boyles, but he might have a plan. I'm sure he does.
I'd say I'm going to do some quick math here in my head. I think running 60 laps, 23 laps puts us back about 47. I think we see our winner out of the front, and this is just my guess as a driver. This is the way I think. I think we'll see our winner and out of the front pack come down about lap 47. That puts you a little bit to the good. If we, for some odd reason, iRacing, like you said, they stack it up, a bunch of cars wreck, and we see another caution, which I don't believe we will. I think 47 is that sweet spot. You got about 20 to 24 laps on fuel. 23 sounds like a good one.
Did you just say I don't believe we will see another caution? We're at a road course, Brandon. Come on now.
Well, I don't believe we'll see another full course caution. We'll say it that way, because you're exactly right. This is going to be a fun restart to call.
Yeah, it is, and I'm going to let you go ahead and get them going again here, buddy.
All righty. I enjoy getting these drivers back to green.
And I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at chat here because Brian Odell, said twax, and then, or I said twax, and then he said twax. And then Jake Russo sounded like a bit of Elmer Fudd there. And then Brian Odell said, dang, that's tough. So I don't know if Brian is talking about what I said, but Jake's saying I sound like Elmer Fudd. So.
Well, speaking in terms of Elmer Fudd here, these drivers tonight have been
be
all Elmer
Fudd here?
I think all the drivers have been tonight. They've been chasing that rabbit, which so far we've seen be the 8 car. So I think we got a lot of Elmer Fudds in this race so far.
All right. Well, that rabbit going to be Justin Boyles as that pace car dives off. Justin going to be restarting here in third. Zach York, one of those Elmer Fudds out there, as we're going to call them here tonight. Go ahead.
Oh, they're back on the gas hard here. We're going to see a beautiful jump early by Zach York in that 49 machine. Smart pit strategy there to get him back up front. Single filing out, except for, oh no! The 97 Benjamin D is going to lose it on that first corner there. Looked like he made quite a bit of contact with that right side wall. Oh, yeah. He's got it going. Believe he might be okay. Maybe just a little bit too hard on the gas.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and go back and take a look at it here and see kind of what happened to Benjamin D here on the restart.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Justin Boyles.
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, the rabbit out here tonight. Well, we called him the rabbit, and unfortunately there, but we'll stay here on Benjamin D and then take a look at what happened to Benjamin, and then we'll switch over to Justin to take a look at Justin under the, right there. That's where it was for Benjamin D. Coming out of that first corner there, it looks like it just snapped loose on him. And then, of course, he goes hard into the wall. So let's go ahead and pause it there. Jump over here to the rabbit here tonight, Justin Boyles, who's really dominated the race
had
here.
A little bit of help.
And see kind of what happened here to that number 8 machine. Looks like Dennis Nickel behind him, and the 51 right up in front of him. That's going to be Oscar Jensen. Yeah, he might have had a little bit of help there, as the braking points are so different from driver to driver, Brandon. You know it because you raced last night here. The 8 on that brake, the 00, his braking point a little bit different. Might not have seen that 8 brake, but yeah, contact definitely going to be made between the 00 and the 8 as the 5, the 33, the 24 get around, as well as the 74. Looks like the 11 of Joshua Witherspoon going to stay right behind him, though. All right, back up live here. Go ahead.
I think on that one there, after seeing the replay, it looked like, in my opinion, Justin caught the short end of the stick. I think Nichols kind of cooked the corner a little too hot, and he was taking out one of those cars. Oh, Rick Webb around as well. But as I was saying there before, it looked like he got the short end of the stick, and he was going to take out one of those cars. Unfortunately, it was that number 8 machine. But I believe he's got the power to drive back up through the field. I don't know how far he'll get with the time we have left, but strategy is going to be his best friend.
They are going to have to pit, so strategy, definitely going to be his best friend. We're going to take a look at what happened to Rick Webb in the number 14 machine. It looks like kind of bunched up here. The 10 going to get around. The 4 of Jeremy Boucher there going to be to his outside. The 97 right there with him as they come through these S's here. It looks like right there it was 3 wide here up the hill.
No, at a road course.
Oh, man. And, well, the 97 to the 14 going to make some contact. The 4 was on the outside of these two drivers. He, of course, is going to get around Jeremy Boucher, but 97 to the 14 going to make some contact as we seen that 3 wide here at Sonoma.
They never get They never give 3-wide Medlock the week off, do they? Oh no, but Jeremy Boucher gonna go around.
Oh, and Boucher. Oh, yep. We're gonna go back and take a look at Boucher. Well, the instant replay is busy right now.
We've had a busy restart so far.
Let's take a look at what happened to Jeremy here. Go down through the S's. It looks like he's okay. He's coming up on the 97. I see the
So much to try to keep up with.
97 is Benjamin D. Looks like Jeremy is A-okay right here. Oh, okay. So right here, we're going to see, maybe some little hammy action going on. Maybe some little rumble strips, alligator or turtles, whatever you want to call them. However, it looks like the 97 as the 4 of Jeremy Boucher comes around. The 97 get on the rumble strips and then right back up into the 4 of Jeremy Boucher. So some contact between the 97 and the 4. I'm not an admin. I ain't going to make the call on who was at fault, but
I do believe we had
What a
Oscar
road course.
sideways.
Oscar
we've got
Jensen.
We've got action everywhere. I think right when the incident happened with Benjamin D and Boucher, I think Dennis Nickel might have got off track a little bit. He lost a couple spots. He allowed the 5 to slip by, and I do believe he was ahead of Jorgensen before. He slipped back. Jensen got off the track there. He slipped back. Now we got Boucher off again. Jason Tripp around into the outside wall there.
No, Tripp. Not having the trip he wanted here tonight at Sonoma. We'll go back and take a look here what happened to Tripp. Man, everybody right now in the final state of the race, Brandon, they're just not having the race they want right now.
No, there's maybe a little bit of payback there. Oh, and more payback. Oh no, another car. Jorgensen involved. Boyles, Nickel into each other again, back to back there, and again hit. Oh no, that's not going to go over well.
Well, we see there Jason Tripp, the 4 as well. Let's go up here to Justin Boyles and company and kind of figure out what happened.
They're still together. This is going to be a long replay here.
Well, let's go back over here to Justin Boyles and kind of take a look at what happened. We see the contact, the battles, the love taps, the hate taps, whatever I don't care. When it comes to race time, I hate all these drivers equally. So we see the tap there between the 8 and the 00. Then we see another tap there between the 8 and the 00. And, of course, Justin's going to get around.
Going for a few
and then
more
right
corners
there,
here.
the 00 into the 8, the 51 into the 00 as the T-bone happens there between them two. And then we see here now as they get situated. Oh, the 00! Right back into that number 8. Oh, the 00 of Dennis and Nickel. Oh, man. I think some tippers flaring here tonight, and we see a little bit of bumping action between the 8 and the 00 here under the replay. We see the 77 gonna get a piece there, gonna go turn, and man, folks, I think tippers right now here in Sonoma are flaring. You think it happens at road courses or at short tracks? It happens at road courses just as bad as it does short tracks. Brandon?
Got a battle for the lead, it looks like. Just keeping up with my tracking here. Looks like Latham has ran down Zach York, and he's closing in ever so closely. But you are exactly right here, just as we mentioned in pre-race. When little incidents like that, like those bumps and bangs that are easy and non-intentional, no ill will, they cost a lot of time. And that's really what starts tempers flaring, and we've seen it here.
Well, hang on a minute. Hang on. Because I'm watching Dennis Nickel and Justin Boyles here. They're still running 7th and 8th. So
I don't think that one's done yet.
The 8 into the 00. He is going to spin Dennis Nickel. Oh, I don't think it's over with, Brandon. I really don't. We've seen it there.
I think we gotta stay close.
MaxSpeedTV. Now
we've got to stay close to these guys.
To 11th, and oh my gosh. Oh, man. Dennis Ansman going to fall back behind the 77 Mark Kuda here. Oh man, I don't know. I don't think it's over. I don't think.
I don't think. Here's the interesting part. You know that 00 is going to be driving mad. We might have saw the 8 driving mad before that. Now it's the back and forth. They're having a 12-round boxing match here in the middle of this race. It's kept it entertaining for sure.
We got war happening out here, Sonoma, and I don't mean it's a light war out here.
I don't think what we've seen so far, I don't think Dennis Nickel is going to be on Flashpoint Racing's Christmas card list.
Oh, man. Well, Dennis
I think I got to take my hat off to...
as part of, I believe, Norse Force, if I'm correct. Looking at it here, I believe he is part of Norse Force.
He is, in fact.
Yeah.
Oh no, Zach York.
Oh, Zach York.
Might have got a little wide there, surrendered the lead. I was just getting ready to say I want to take my hat off to him.
Timothy Latham now up front. It looks like Jeremy Boucher and Rick Webb having a problem, but I got to get back up here to Justin Boyles and Dennis Nickel. We've got Justin right up ahead of, I believe it is going to be... Now, he is 6.3 seconds behind. Now, Benjamin D, there's got to be a lap car. No? There ain't a lap car there.
I think Benjamin D has just got past him. That's Tim Hendry up in front of them, I believe.
Okay.
I think we just not updated yet. Boyles should be back in the 8th spot.
Yeah,
if I'm not
I've got
mistaken.
it right now. Yeah, Justin Boyles in 8th, Dennis Nickel back in 9th.
I don't know. This one's fun so far. It's tough to watch all ends of the racetrack and watch the little back and forth here too, man. We're doing the best. I can assure you guys in chat hanging out with us that we're doing our best to keep up with everything that's going on.
Well, I think Dennis right now is just driving his tail off, trying to get back up to Justin Boyles. But he is 6.6 seconds behind him. I don't know.
Even with the damage to that car, he's still
running strong down to the inside of the 07 of Tim Hendry. Is going to go into 7th. So that's going to put a car between the two, I would say, rivals out here tonight. He got some distance.
Credit to Nickel, though, as well. I mean, he's missing the whole front end of that race car, and he's still driving it for all it's got. Hopefully these guys have a little bit of cool-down period to keep their tempers, let them cool off a little bit. I know it's a high frustration situation, but both of these guys are...
I don't think it's over, though.
No,
I mean,
I think
they've got a pit. The question is when. What's Oscar going to do, from Justin? What's Justin going to do aside from Oscar? Are they going to get bunched back up?
Robert
Dennis,
Montgomery
not Oscar. Sorry,
in the
Dennis.
chat. Oh, you're fine. Robert Montgomery in the chat said we are entertained by all of this in our campsite. Wish you were out here racing with them, buddy. I hope you're having fun at your campsite.
Yeah, I know Robert. How you doing out there, Robert, buddy? How many people you got out there watching, Robert? That way we can go ahead and add it to our concurrent 20 people out here that are concurrently watching here for the iRacing Virtual Cup Series, the premier private car service. Round 17, Season 1 here at Sonoma Raceway. Round 17, we've still got one more road course, though, Brandon, here in the season. That's going to be Watkins Glen. Please, don't change it to Road America because I'm tired of it.
I understand that all too
Watkins Glen. I want to know how many people Robert's got watching. That's what I want to know right now.
I do also want to point out we have one more in the regular season. We do have the Roval in the round of 12 in the playoffs as well, so
yeah.
we'll be coming back a couple more.
Oh, so we've got 2 instead of 1. I keep forgetting about the Roval.
Yeah, the Roval's he's got it tucked away down there in the round of 12, which that's an all-time high for tempers flaring there. Everywhere they're going to be. It looks like Robert Montgomery said there are 6 of us that you can add on there. So,
Oh, Chad Gwiningsman, or Gwiningsman, however you pronounce it. I say Gwining. You say Gwining. So, Gwiningsman, it's the number 9 having a moment. He's having another moment here. He's going to take that turn wide. I think right now he's just wanting to finish the race here tonight.
yeah,
I think everybody.
He's ran good.
Yes, he has. You know, he's currently running in 17th. Started 14th. He is back a few spots, but still, yeah, that number 9 machine is still out here on the lead lap. Top 17 out here on the lead lap. Christopher Kimberly, Alex Carl Link, Travis Dowley, and Bob Carroll have all retired from the race here tonight. Man, we hate to see it, but Jeremy Boucher in that North Force 4 coming down pit road. Here we go.
Strategy, and just as I mentioned, we're a few laps away. I said lap 43. Interesting to see how much Boucher can make up after his pit stop and pick off some positions here. I think the one to watch strategy-wise right now, Josh, is a 24 car. He's ran a silent night tonight. Haven't really talked about him all that much, but he's made it up into second place. Oh, Dennis Nickel getting off the track in the sweeping down-hander there. Looks like he gathered it back up, and he is okay to continue forward.
Looking like a Gen 6 modified. He's got no front fender. He still has his hood, but he has no front fender. It looks like he doesn't even have a bumper there either.
Yeah, his bumper's missing. Maybe his deck lid as well.
You know, road courses, aerodynamic. These Cup cars, though, has so much downforce. But with him missing the spoiler on the back, that could be affecting that handling.
That's the worst part for him. He's
Yes.
just missing. Looks like just watching him there, I was seeing what was going on. I do apologize. That's the worst part of the damage. The front end, you don't really have too much to worry about there. Without that rear wing on the car, though, it has got to be a handful to drive. It's got to be all over the place, Josh.
You're not going to see me out here racing. Not going to happen.
Josh
Well,
said he will pass the opportunity with or without a spoiler.
If it came to Sonoma or Watkins Glen, any road course for that matter of getting into a chase, I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass because I stink at road courses. I would rather turn left or right, not left and right.
Yeah,
so
I agree. I'd rather run the tracks backwards than. Oh no, Cyberry!
Brad Cyberry gonna get loose there. He's gonna keep it going, but we see we see him coming down there. He's gonna still be on low power. We see Dakota Jorgensen, I believe, also having a moment. Dakota has no hood here.
I tell you what, hats off to this 8 car. He's got an opportunity here to get back in the top 3. He's going to gain a spot on his teammate Jorgensen.
Yep.
Been working on Benjamin D for a little while now, so he has not gave up. You see him just continuing to tick it away. Oh, we're going to see the 97, I believe, of Benjamin D hitting pit road.
Yeah, Benjamin D. Yep.
Zach York, Oscar
Brian
Jensen, both also.
Cyberry? No, he's not on pit road. Zach York, yes, on pit road. Jensen on pit road. Robert Montgomery out there in chat saying there are 6 people watching out here tonight. So you tap it onto the concurrent 20 earlier, 19 right now. Now back to 20. 26 people all together. Nice to see everybody out there sharing the stream, whether it be you're sharing it on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever the case may be, or just sharing, a big screen TV out there camping or on your phone or whatever. Nice to see we got a lot of viewers out there. We've seen some green flag pit stops here. Well, green flag pit stops to say that like it's an oval, and it's not. But
Luis Angel Lopez sliding a little wide there, but he's gathered it back up, just lit a little off track. I do want to point out to all those viewers that have stuck with us, you guys have chose a fun one tonight to tune in and watch with us. This one's been a blast. There's action everywhere. It's not one of those just turn left tracks, but I know I've certainly had a blast, Josh.
It's been interesting.
Yeah, that it has.
It has been interesting for sure. Well, we see Justin Boyles back up to second. They are going to
He's
have
not
to come
letting this
down
one
pit
rest.
road, though. Yeah, I mean, the top 8 have yet to pit here. Zach York, Oscar Jensen, Benjamin D. all have pitted. The top drivers have yet to pit. They can only go, though, about...
Got a couple, it looks like. Is that
Okay.
Nickel and Ansman both? The Dennises look like they're on pit road. Not sure if we missed anyone else.
Dennis
Joshua
Ansman.
Witherspoon. Joshua
Dennis-
Witherspoon follows them as well.
Yep, looking here, it looks like Benjamin D. Going to make the passes there that is needed. Well, that's going to put Benjamin D. up into, we'll wait for everything to kind of reset here because we got some drivers on pit road. We got some other drivers.
Scoring's all over the place.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up right now. The top 4 have yet to pit, as well as Tim Hendry in the
Tim Hendry.
07, who is having an issue.
He slid a little wide there. I think he tried to give room
Mark
to, I'm not sure
Kuda.
what car that was going by him. Tried to give room to him, though.
Yeah, Mark Kuda, Jason Tripp has yet to pit this time. It's going to be interesting, though, to see who comes down pit road. Well, Timothy Latham not coming down pit road. We'll watch Justin Boyles here in the 8th as he gets off into the rumble strips. And he is not going to come down pit road. Dakota Jorgensen, we'll watch him not coming down pit road. Brian Syberry a little bit ways further back. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just pointing out that the 5 car there ran up on some traffic, but everything worked out fine. We had the Luis Angel Lopez and Jeremy Boucher coming from pit road, but that all worked out well.
Okay.
I think, though, back to your point, I think we got to see if he wants an opportunity to cut down some of that time, we've got to see Boyles in that 8 car beat his teammate back to pit road, have about a little bit of that lap, and maybe that's what Latham's waiting on. He knows the one guy that can run him down is that 8 car in second place, so he may be waiting on him to make a pit stop. But as Boyles, in order to cut some of that time down, I think he's got to beat his teammate to pit road.
Oh, yeah, he's got to. You know, I don't know what Justin's plan. I'm not a driver. I'm not a team owner. I'm not an admin, Brandon. I don't know what these drivers are thinking. You know, I don't have access to chat for their team. I mean, I do, but I don't. And I don't want to give that strategy, you know, out there, because we do have people that watch and that do listen for strategy. So
5 car bringing it to pit road this time.
Timothy Latham, yep, down pit road. I imagine that number 8 of Justin Boyles is going to be coming down here this time.
I would imagine.
No, he's not.
Interesting here. That's the other thing that we didn't touch on. If, you know, he stays out, he's got a little bit of a lead now over the Jorgensen car, the 24 behind him. That's a teammate. Not sure if Jorgensen made the pit stop. We'll see here in just a moment.
Well, you can go 20 to 24 laps. Now, Justin has been out here now at 15 laps. We've got 17 to go. So do the math here real quick. 17 to go. He's been out here 15 laps.
Got about 9 more laps. Should see him with about 8 or 9 to go. He can go to that point. I'd say about 9 to go would be my guess if we're making it 24 full laps. But what I was interested to see, now here's the strategy. The 5 car, he's falling back a little bit. He's in traffic now. That's the driver to beat when it all cycles through. And actually, I believe Zach York may have got by him on the track, it looks like, after pit stops.
Zach York,
these drivers,
up to 4th.
They have their tires. They're ticking off the rubber of their tires now, Josh.
Yes.
And Justin's still on those old tires, maintaining his lead that he's got. Looks like 23 or so seconds. They're using their tires.
22, 21, somewhere around in there, yeah. About 21
Boyles
seconds, roughly. Yeah.
He's still got those new tires, so if he can stay out And even if he loses 3, 4, 5 seconds, oh no, the 5 car! That's just what we were talking about.
No, Latham!
That is what boils. Oh.
Well, let's go back and take a look at what happened to the 5 of Latham here. Now, Latham, of course, 4 wins on the season. He's locked in, but, you know, he wants to, of course, have a strong finish here at Sonoma.
The 5th win would have felt just as good.
Oh, yeah, another win, taking it away from the other drivers. Definitely going to feel just as good, but what happened to the number 5? It looks like he's okay coming out of the corner. No, he's not. Out of the corner, he just snaps loose. Got back on the gas a little bit too strong, up into the grass. It looks like he keeps it off of the wall, but going to lose some positions there as he falls back to 7th
Did
place.
we see? I'm going to check in with the 8 car. I believe we might have saw him. No, he's still on the racetrack. Interesting here. His teammate Jorgensen looked like, I do believe Jorgensen brought it down the pit road there.
Jorgensen,
he's still on the track as well.
He's on the track. So, Justin, Dakota, going to be 1 and 2 here this evening. Zach York right now currently 3rd. Oscar Jensen in 4th. Benjamin D going to round out the top 5. Timothy Latham 6th. Tim Hendry 7th. Dennis Hensman 8th. Brian Cyberry 9th. And running out the top 10 on pit road is going to be Jason Tripp. Now going to be Dennis Nickel. You want to go ahead and run through 11th through 17th, or you want me to do it? I don't know if it's updated for you.
If you've got it updated, I'll let you go ahead and run through it because with the position changes.
Okay, all right. Well, Joshua Witherspoon currently running at 11th. Mark Kuda 12th. Jeremy Boucher now in 12th. Get around Mark Kuda, who's on pit road. Luis Angel Lopez now 13th. Mark Kuda off the track in 14th. Jason Tripp on pit road in 16th. Rick Webb now 16th. And Chad Genningsman in 17th. Going to round out the field that we have here tonight. And Justin Boyles has taken over the lead from the 24 of Dakota Jorgensen. Has now got about an 8.1 second over his teammate there.
Can you, Josh, if you don't mind, update me on the time back to Zach York. It's still, he's on those new tires. Don't look like he's really gaining.
From the gap to the leader is about 20.2 seconds.
So Zach York really not gaining that much time on Boyles on these old tires here. That's pretty interesting.
About a second every couple of laps if you look at it. So I don't know if Justin can make it with 15 to go.
Unless they know something that we don't know, I think he's still got a pit. Now the interesting thing though, he can come in and typically a pit stop for these cars is about 13 to 14 seconds.
Yes.
Now, right now would be the time to pit. He's still got about a 14-second lead. He'd come out right behind those cars. Well, you have to factor in the pit road speed as well, slowing down. But he's really not going to lose that much time. And yet again, it looks like he's still going to continue on and not pit. But the factor is, when he gets those new tires, they're not, Mark Kuda looked like he gets around behind him there. Gathered it back up, though.
Yeah.
Jorgensen did make his pit stop. But back to the point of
Dakota's
Boyles
on
here.
pit road right now, so, yeah, go ahead.
The point is, they've ran, what was it, about 6 or 7 laps already on their tires, everyone else behind Boyles. So those are 6 or 7 long laps that he's going to have newer when he does come to pit road.
Yeah, but Zach York is now at about 19.2 seconds. So, yeah, about a second every 2 laps, I would say. Here's the problem, though, for Justin right now as I'm looking at it. When you come down pit road speed is only 45 miles per hour, and you've got that long turn before you get to your pit box. Justin Boyles being all the way at the end of pit road, that's going to be time lost for that number 8. So, right now, if Justin don't pit, before 10 to go, or 10 to go before 10 to go, I think he has to have his mindset that save as much fuel as he can. Now under 10, or right now 14, 13, 12 to go, if it comes down pit road, then it's going to be a battle of getting those tires warmed up and just burning everything you possibly can to get back up to the lead. Right now, Justin is playing with fire. I don't know how much fuel, though, he has saved. Is he clutching it? That could be helping that number 8.
I want to look. Justin ran a 1:39.6 that lap around, which is still crazy
quicker,
fast on these old tires.
Than Zach York.
I'm going to see what Zach York actually ran a 1:40.7 that time. So Boyles on these old tires is still running faster laps than second place. And, going back, Benjamin D ran a faster lap. Latham ran a faster lap, but they're far behind now. And that's really where he cycles back out of pit road, and how many of these cars are able to catch him is really going to be the difference.
Yeah, at about 24 to 27 seconds, that's going to separate Benjamin D from the leader. At about 24.8, Timothy Latham at about 27 seconds roughly. So let's go and bring up the gap to the leader here. We're going to start here with first and second place here. Back up to about 20.2. Third at about 21.2. Fourth at about 24.5. Timothy Latham at about 26.4. That is from the top 5 to the 6th position. Dakota Jorgensen at about 42.1. Brian Syberry at about 56 seconds. Dennis Ansman about a minute. Dennis Nickel about 1.06. Joshua Witherspoon going to round out the top 10 here at about a minute 14. So, still
1:39.7 that time. I'm impressed. I've got to give my hat off again to Justin Boyles, and I want to see what Zach York comes across. 1:39.7 that time. Let's see, waiting for Zach York to cross the start finish line, and this shows you the gap.
138.6.
No, 1:38.6 to a 1:41.2 that time.
Oh, man.
Impressed as oh no.
Who are you oh-no-ing about?
Chad Genixman in the number 9 there, right in front of our leader. Ooh, that had to be scary. Just going to run off the track in front of the leader and was trying to get it gathered back up, and Justin was able to navigate around him.
Robert Montgomery out there, man. I don't like road courses, but like I said, Sonoma is one of those road courses that I do enjoy calling, especially because it's unique. Watkins Glen, maybe a little different. But we see Justin Boyles coming up on the 10 here. That is going to be Luis Angel Lopez. So Luis going to go a lap down there. Justin going to get around. I'm curious, really, in all honesty, on how much fuel Justin has as we enter or coming now to 11 to go. Does he really, honestly, have enough fuel to make it to the end, as he has been now out here at about 21 laps?
I can't imagine we see more than 2 more laps.
He'll lead the most laps. 31 laps currently right now. I don't think anybody can overtake that, with it being a road course. Zach York has led 7. Oscar Jensen,
Latham
none.
Would be,
Latham would be
maybe
11. 11 is 22. So, no.
Yeah. So he is going to get that.
Yeah, he will get that for sure. The most laps led here at Sonoma.
And I can't express enough how impressed I am with this 8 car on these old tires, and it's going to come down to just how much gas is left in the tank, because just as we've talked about, and he's going to go a little wide there in the top of the hill, but I'm completely impressed by his ability on these older tires. You know, everyone behind him's got new tires, and honestly, the new's starting to wear off of those tires, and he's still putting down super fast laps, and it's really impressing me. Like, you know, I know I've said that a bunch, and I probably sound like a broken record, but um, he knew this was a strong point for him as much as he's practiced this week, and it's really showing right now. Yet again, though, not going to bring it down pit road. He's going to continue on another lap. So got to be getting close to the fuel in the bank. I'll let you guys know if I can see with the shot that I'm on. Boyles is crossing the start-finish line now, and it looks like Zach York was just coming through the S's. So not really making that gain that we expected to see. I hope in the aspect of Boyles that he leaves himself enough time if he does get a little behind. See Dennis Ansman down in the chat said, well, my race is over. It was fun, but what a workout. That was one point that I touched on, Dennis, prior to the race, was how tired you would be. You know, Boyle's going to get a little sideways, able to save it. Those tires are shot. But, Dennis, I knew it would be a workout for you guys tonight, and it was fun watching you run there, buddy. I hate that your race is over a little early, but, you know, appreciate you sticking through, you know, what seemed like a little bit of a tough race. We see just a continuance here. Boyles still holding about a 20-second lead over the new second-place car, Oscar Jensen. Oscar has overtaken and actually looked like Zach York may have got off the track there a little bit. He slid back to 5th. So I think now Justin Boyles has to bring that car to pit road. A little bit of issue behind him and gain him a little bit of time. Now's the perfect chance. You come down, you get the fresh tires, you get the fuel, and see where you cycle out on those cars running around you with a little bit of comfortability. The qualifier absolutely was rough last night. Interested Grum 7351. Not sure who exactly you are. Share with me who you are. I know I had an awful race. I hope yours was better than mine if you did run with us last night.
Oh, man.
I thought for sure, Josh, we'd see Boyles come down. Zach York looked like he might have got off track. He slid back to 5th. So I'm not sure. You know, Boyles, does he think he can make it? Is he trying it?
Well, under 10 to go, 9 to go this time by, or the last time by here. I think right now, Justin, I think he's set. I think he has got his mindset to finishing the race here, you know, regardless of what happens. I mean, if he comes down now, it could potentially cost him the race, you know.
Yeah, and I want to focus back to chat for just a second. Ansman, I watched your race. It was nowhere near as bad as mine last night. Thomas, my teammate from last night, you put on a heck of a show, buddy. You drove the wheels off of what we had, and you did do it, like I said before, you did do a lot better than I did. So appreciate you hanging out with us here for the finish. If you missed it, catch it on YouTube tomorrow or after the race. You know, it's been a fun one from start to finish.
Grum 7351L out there in chat. Do you know who that is, Brandon?
Yeah, he is. That's actually my teammate on Speed Racing Inc. in the qualifier series. That's what I had to ask him who exactly he was. He said the qualifier was a rough one last night, but it's Thomas Rutherford. He drives the 4 car in the qualifier series. So appreciate
Justin
you tuning in with us.
down pit road.
Curious to see what he does here.
Make it.
Oscar was catching him, and I think that's what he was waiting on. Oscar was cutting those seconds down quick.
Oscar Jensen through that turn 12 here. Justin has yet to go into his stall. There he goes, but it's going to be Oscar Jensen going to take over the lead here tonight. 8 laps remaining here this evening.
Say about 8 seconds, it looked like, just in my guesstimation. Robert, agree with what Dennis said there, man. We missed you here tonight, buddy. You've been putting on some good finishes as of late. It's a tight battle right there for the race lead, though. Those 3 cars.
Yes, it is. Oh, the 97, the 51, the 5. Justin Boyles coming out of about 5.3 seconds. Back out into 4th.
He's got a shot.
Yes, he
Oh,
does.
this is gonna be fun.
Potential 4 wide for the win.
Yeah, and we saw 3 wide early tonight, as crazy as that sounds, but definitely Ansman, I wasn't oh, Jason Tripp going to be off track, going to get it gathered back up there. No worries, Boyle's going to come by.
Well,
All clean and
Latham
clear.
going to go into second here for a second as we see the 97 there. Benjamin D going to fall back to third. Oscar battling, man, up here up front now.
They've got to think about it.
A lap.
They've got to think about it. That car's coming in. The S's behind them on brand new tires.
Well, it's going to take about a lap. I would say a lap to get the heat built up, Brandon.
Yeah, and that's battling
at
though.
About 4 to 7, 5 to 10, depending on the track. Right now, Justin's got to let the heat build up, but he can't back off too much as he ripped orange cone there.
Latham
from
to the
pit
lead
road.
around Oscar Jensen. They're battling. You
Oh!
don't want to see that if you're in those front 3 because you know Boyles is coming. This time, 140 for Latham. Let's see, 154. That's with the pit stop for Boyles. We'll check that next time. But he's closing in.
Yeah, he is. Now we'll see what happens on the next time around. But 7 to go here tonight for the iRacing Virtual Premier Private Car Service Cup Series, round 17 of season 1 here at Sonoma. They are coming up on the 77 there. That is going to be Mark Kuda. Boy, lap traffic at a road course is treacherous. It's horrible.
The problem for these guys in front of Boyles, though, when he catches one of them, he's caught all of them. And Latham's trying to get away and make it tough, but when he catches, I mean, he's going to go, and I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but when he goes, he's going to go third, second. You know, it's those two are right there. Latham's a little bit out in front of him now. Oh, it's getting good, Josh, with just a handful left.
2.5 seconds behind, and it may not look like much because we're on Justin, and we can see that number 5 or that number 97. No, that would be the who is that? Right up ahead of him. I believe there's
right
a
in
lap
front of
car
him is
there.
Mark Kuda, right in
Mark
front of him.
Kuda behind him. Mark Kuda in the 77. He's going to be coming up on Mark here into turn number 12. Mark going to hold that low line, but I think he's going to let that 8 go by, knowing that
let him go.
8, yep, knowing that 8 is on the lead lap.
Oh, just gets a little sideways. The 8 car there got on the gas maybe a little too quick. That doesn't help the chase for the front guys. But he's doing everything he can do here.
Gap to leader at about 4.8 seconds here. We're watching it. Now the 51 there right behind the 97.
The 10 car of Angel Luis, or let me get that right. Luis Angel Lopez off the car, or off the track there in that golden Black Crow Motorsports car. Interesting here. I mean, it might have worked out. He might have planned it perfect. I think, just looking at it, I think he could get the second. Latham, though, he's putting on a show up front. He stretched his gap to second out by about 2.4 seconds now. So we'll see as the laps continue to tick off here. 6 to go, and he's getting ever so close to that 51 machine. See down the hill now. A little bit of space between the 51 and the 97 in second and third. The 97 currently holds that advantage. The front 4 still close together, about looks like 5.4 seconds from first to fourth.
Well, I'm seeing about 4.4, but you haven't got it updated yet. So we see.
Check the lap times at the line here.
Well, looking at the lap times, we see Timothy there at about 140.653. Justin get across the line at about 139.869. So, oh my God,
0.8 of a second almost.
Well, Justin has caught the 51 of Oscar Jensen. And they still
I think he has to get by him on this lap. I think he has to get by no more than this point. Next lap, he has to be in second place with a shot to run down the 5 car. And that's barring no mistakes by any of these guys. That's just if they run a perfect race from here. Obviously.
Dennis. Oh, Zach York sideways on the track. The 49 having a mistake. We also seen Dennis Nickel also having a mistake there as well. Now Justin has closed in about 3.6 and about on the leader at about half a second now on the 51. He has caught that 51 machine. Is there enough laps here for Justin Boyles to capitalize?
The good news is the 97, when he gets to him, he's actually reeled Latham back in just a little bit. Down, not sure, with the gas and the brake and the gas and the brake. Looks like it was about 2.5 seconds before, maybe down closer to 2 seconds now. So the 97 really kind of keeping the 5 car in touch with him, and actually even closer now as they come through the hairpin. See Justin right on the back bumper of the 51, about 2 car lengths. As they throttle back, it'll stretch out a little bit, but it's getting close. It's getting ever so close, and now we'll see what happens here. I'm interested to see.
Well, 4 laps to go. Oh man, this is going to be interesting. I don't think
4 wide for the finish is out, because the 97's catching the 5, the 8's catching the 51, and if those cars start battling, the 51 and the 8 catch up, and they're all right there.
Oh,
downhill, he's gonna peek to the inside.
Oh, bumping action with the 8 and the 51. A little bit of bumping and rubbing there. That 8 letting that 51 know, hey, I'm here.
I've closed the gap.
Me. Yep, I'm here. Oscar gonna have to really keep that 8 behind him. Oh, Oscar getting a little bit jerky there coming out of the corner.
Brian Odell said, how's Timothy Latham doing? Still
he's
where we like to see the 5 car. He's still holding the lead.
At about 1.7 seconds ahead of Benjamin D. So Timothy Latham's still holding strong. But right now the battle, I would say, is between Oscar Jensen and Justin Boyles at the moment.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. I just hope I'm not sure Justin's pit stop seemed a little quick.
Brian Syberry off the track. I don't know who else that was off the track with him, but Brian Syberry was off the track. As we exit the hairpin here, turn number 12, Benjamin D. Timothy Latham is going to take 3 to go that time by, Brandon.
That was a great lap by Timothy Latham at a 1:39.483 to Justin Boyles 1:45.57. So Latham's doing what he can to keep that lead. Benjamin D also ran a 1:39, just a hair slower. Now we see Boyles side by side with the 51. Gonna have to let him have this contact.
Oh, Justin trying to do what he can to get up there to Oscar.
Man, he's driving the wheels off of that 8 car right now, Josh. I think the most nervous driver on the track has still got to be that 5 car leading it.
Yeah.
One mistake and the 97's there. A big mistake and 3rd and 4th are there as well. So
yeah. Well, Timothy Latham now at about 2.3 seconds ahead of Benjamin D. Now, if Timothy, of course, can hold on here up front, that'll be his 5th win of the season. And, it's hard enough to get 1 win, Brandon, but let alone get 5 wins. Timothy, one of those drivers that, every week, no matter what track, you've got to watch because, he might have the most suckiest setup at the beginning, but since it's open sets, by the time the race ends, that number 5 of Timothy Latham, as we take 2 to go here, he's usually has got it dialed in, made those adjustments needed, and he's up there. But I got to give kudos to that 8 of Justin Boyles here tonight. Leading 34 laps, the most laps led. He's still trying to reel in the 51 of Oscar Jensen. Our pole sitter coming down late. I still don't think it's over between the 51 and the 8. And I don't think it's over between, Timothy Latham and Benjamin D.
No,
But-
he's driving, and I want to go back and touch just for the fans on what you said about Latham. Latham and I, we went into a race lobby together, and I feel like I'm getting all of I can get, and we ran the same setup, and I feel like I'm getting all I can get out of the car. And here he comes in 1 or 2 laps, and he milks another 2/10 out of it. He's so good at taking a setup that's good for a lot of drivers and just milking so much more out of it. Oh, Justin Boyle's finally going to get the job done. Slide into the third. Oh, 51 going to battle back.
Side by side for third, in through the S's. Justin is going to edge out that 51 machine. But
Don't think it's
Oscar
done, though.
It's not going to be done with Timothy Latham coming into that turn number 12 here tonight. Go back here to Justin and the 51 down here. Oh, here we go.
Oscar's got the preferred line. What does Justin do?
Side. Oh, man.
Hard move for the 8 car here.
Here we go. Look at that run. That number 8 got on the outside. 1 to go here tonight. Side by side, about a third. Justin Boyle is going to overtake that from the 51. Oh,
And I tell you, it's still heating up between the 97 and the 5. He could feel it. The 97 up there, he knows. One mistake on this final. Oh, well, he got a little loose there. One mistake by that 5 car this lap, and he's right there with his shot for a win.
Well, Brandon, everybody knows me because I don't race, and I can say this. If I was the 97 and I was right up on Timothy Latham, I'd wreck him for a Klondike bar.
I think it's big. I mean, that's big implications, and I don't, I'm really good friends with Latham, but I don't think that's out of line. And I think looking at it from a driver standpoint, I don't think Latham would either. That is a big playoff implications for that 97 car. And I think if he gets there, if you're the 5 car,
getting a little loose, but however,
he's
he's going to hold it.
You got to expect it.
Yeah, well, if I'm Benjamin D, you hand me a Klondike bar, guess what? I'm going to wreck him. I like Klondike bars. So, like I said at the beginning of the race here, when it comes to race time, I hate everybody equally. So,
Yeah.
And I don't care what
unless he
happens on the
screws up.
track. I just call what I see.
Yeah. And that's all you get. Oh, Tim Hendry going to get off in front of the leader.
Yeah, but here comes the leader of Timothy Latham. Coming down
Look at the sin. Look at the 97.
Corner, the 97. Also trying to get around Timothy Latham. Coming from 4th to 1st. Will win it here tonight. Benjamin E in 2nd. Boyle's coming. You're losing a couple of spots. Will bounce back into the top 3 here tonight. What a race here this evening, folks. Man, at Sonoma. I don't like road courses, but I have to say tonight it was very entertaining, to say the least.
Yeah, and that's a big comeback for both the 5 car and the 8 car. They both got off track and spun around earlier on, and their ability to battle back. Had they taken just a little bit more time to gather it back up, we might have saw Benjamin D in victory lane. But great rebound by both of those cars.
A little bit of a love tap there coming from the 8 to the number 5. Seeing their Justin Boyles there going around kind of live here on MaxSpeedTV, kind of giving me a little congratulations tap there from what it looks like. But man, what a race out here tonight by all of these drivers. It was fantastic. We could not have asked for more from a road course for sure. But we're going to go ahead and step away here for the final commercial break here tonight. We're going to get the top 3 up here for the MaxSpeedTV post-race show. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. Alrighty, folks, back live here on MaxSpeedTV. We have, of course, caught up with our top 3 here tonight. Of course, we're going to start here with that number 8 machine of Justin Boyles having a good solid run, winning stage 1 and 2, and then coming to the end there. There's some conflict going on out there on the track, but hey, Justin, nice recovery. You came down pit road. I thought you had the fuel after under 10 to go, but apparently you didn't. But you managed to get third and pass it up Oscar Jensen there. Talk about your run here at Sonoma for round number 17 here this evening.
Yeah, the car was hooked up, man. We had plenty of speed. Car was handling well. It got better as the race went on. I told you right there at the end of stage 2 I wasn't going to get to restart in the lead because those guys played a strategy, Zach and Oscar, and it didn't work out for us, unfortunately. I, had got some contact. Shouldn't have had to recover, but I did. And as far as the fuel goes, I knew I didn't have enough to make it. The plan was to just try to stretch as long as I could and just get a splash of fuel and go and hopefully come out ahead of the leaders. But I didn't expect to after the second time I got spun. But I'm pretty ecstatic that I was actually able to be within a few seconds of those guys and get around one of them and get third. But I tell you, it's second place last week or third place last week, third place this week. It's just 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, I'd have been told you I'd love to finish third back-to-back weeks, but back-to-back weeks it's just been pretty disappointing. But a great job by the team. Glad Tim got the win, and it is what it is. We'll go on to Chicago next week.
Yeah, Chicagoland next week. Back to a mile and a half, buddy. What's the mindset going from Sonoma to Chicagoland?
It's a whole different package, whole different style of racing. We have back to the big high downforce and big spoilers, and it's just going to be wide racing, wide 2, 3, 4 wide at times, I'm sure. So just gotta keep the car clean and be there at the end like we were at Michigan. So we'll see what happens.
All righty, buddy. Well, any final thoughts, shout-outs you want to give before you go celebrate? Really a solid third here tonight. You're going to have some good stage points, but getting ready for Chicagoland for sure. Go ahead, bud. Mike's yours.
Yeah. Excited for what this team was able to accomplish tonight, and shout out to Flashpoint Racing. And shout out my old man. He helped me with the setup before the race, getting the car dialed in. So that was great. Glad to be able to come out and win 2 stages, get a good points night. So, just appreciate the broadcast, Premier Private Car Service for sponsoring the league, being a part of this. Butt Kicker, use code IVCS at checkout for 25% off buttkicker.com. And, just looking forward to next week.
All right, buddy. Well, let's go celebrate third here tonight, man. Congratulations. We'll see you next week at Chicagoland.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Uh-huh. All right, well, that is going to bring us to our second place finisher here tonight, Benjamin D. And I believe Brandon has caught up with the Flying Arrows of 97. Go ahead, Brandon.
First off, Benjamin, want to thank you for putting on such a good show there with the 5 car, the 8 car behind you, buddy. Congratulations on a second place. Let us know, walk us through what it was like knowing that 5 car was right there and just doing all you could to try to get there.
Well, I'll tell you, that was one hell of a race. Mistakes were made. I'll say that. I kept, beginning I spun, second stage I spun, beginning and third stage I spun, and it's just crazy now that I'm out of the race car. I'm I drove all the way back up there, and I was trying not to let Timothy by. I knew he had a bit fresher tires than me, and I guess once he got by, I just tried my hardest to catch up and not let Jeremy catch me either. I just wanted to, not make any more mistakes for the rest of the night. I knew where I was, no more mistakes. I was trying to catch him. I may have almost caught him in the last turn, last lap, but, he definitely deserved that win. It was one great drive by him.
Yeah, and don't sell yourself short on that, Benjamin. Great drive by you as well. I believe you had, a photo worthy finish to that race, and we asked Justin. Let's ask you the same question. What's your mindset heading into Chicagoland, coming off of a great second place finish?
I keep the speed that we had this week. I'm going to carry it over to Chicagoland. back to the oval. It's going to be different. Every preparation wise, this was since this was our first road course, we prepared very differently. Setup wise and training wise. So back to almost the norm now. So let's hope we carry the speed that we had this week over to Chicagoland.
Well, certainly good luck to you, man. And again, congratulations on an awesome second place finish. Any shout outs or final thoughts before you go celebrate?
I want to shout out to Henry Kelleher. He made the new paint that I was racing today. I'm sure that was a new Flying Arrows paint that everybody saw. So shout out to him. Him and I worked on that paint. He did most of the job. So thanks, Henry.
Beautiful looking car you got there, buddy. We actually have it on screen as we sit right now. Make sure you go celebrate that second place finish, and looking forward to seeing you run next week, man.
All right, thank you much.
Thank you.
All right, well, that is going to bring us to our winner here tonight. I don't know how he did it, but it's going to be his 5th win on the season here. Timothy Latham, man, awesome job out here tonight. Man, talk about your run, not really, I would say per race you wanted, but hey, getting that checkered flag is the race for sure. But up and down race, some action out there on the track. Stages, of course, here tonight, no cautions. What in the world did you have to do to get that Sour Gummy Worms number 5 into victory lane here this evening?
Well, I put myself into some bad situations late in the race there. Early in the race in stage 2, had a little contact that shouldn't have happened. I spun, dropped back about 10 spots, worked my way back up through the stage there. And when stage 2 hit, we were all trying to catch Zach there. And when the pit stops happened, I came out and I was right there with those guys. And I made a mistake coming onto the drag strip, spun myself out 10 seconds back. And I just had to fight and claw my way back up there to those guys. And they made a few mistakes. I capitalized on them. And then once I was in front of everybody, it was smooth sailing from there pretty much.
Well, when you got first and you joined the top group here and you got first place, you had Benjamin D, you had Oscar Jensen, you had Justin Boyles, Dakota was up there at one point or another. What were you doing to keep the drivers behind you, but yet still hit your marks? Because road course racing is nothing like ovals.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a lot of it's just not focusing on what the guys behind you are doing. You want to run your race, run your laps, and not worry about those guys. I know there was a few instances where I was looking at my mirror, I was looking at the relative, and those points I started to mess up. So I cleared my head, I stopped worrying about it, I turned my black box off, and I just ran. And I just ran my own race at that point.
Well, that's what you got to do. You got to run your own race. You got to race your race and not everybody else. That's the biggest thing that I talk about even for all the newcomers coming up on iRacing. Race your race and not everybody else. That's the biggest thing, and I think Timothy can really chime on that when it comes to racing. But, hey, we go from road course back to oval. Chicagoland, 1.5 miles. Really one of the really a quick track. It's very fast. Talk about Chicagoland.
Yeah, it's a really unique one. Going back to an oval, it's going to be completely different. And with Chicagoland, it's got that curved back stretch, so it's a little different than most 1.5 miles. But I feel like we got something good going into that week, and hopefully Flashpoint Racing can stay up front, be up front the whole day, and hopefully come with a win. Even if it's not me, hopefully someone on my team gets a win this week.
All right, well, your 5th win here tonight, buddy. Congratulations. Of course, taken away from a go ahead, Brandon.
Real quick, I want to chime in and to touch on this to let the fans that maybe don't watch every week know. Tim, man, 3 in a row. We've seen you 3 weeks in a row now, man. So congratulations. Just a joke from one friend to another. We joked earlier. I joked with you earlier in the season, and I said, it sounded pretty good. The 5 for 5 wins for the 5 car. We're gonna see that on the car next week, man.
Nah, we're not gonna gloat like that. We're just gonna we'll probably have another raise energy scheme on the car again, and hopefully we're 3 for 3 so far with raise energy. Hopefully we can make it 4 for 4 next week.
All right,
got a good
buddy.
showing for him.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Timothy will. I'm sure he will. All right, buddy. Any final thoughts, shout outs, thanks you want to give before you go celebrate the 5th victory on the season here tonight and your victory here for Sonoma?
Yeah, I just want to shout out to the team, Flashpoint Racing. You know, me, Justin, and Dakota really worked on the car all week. It wasn't just, we worked for one day, but we worked on the cars all week. We had a bunch of different setups, and like Justin told you earlier, we were running a different setup, all three of us, through the whole race. So it was pretty crazy.
Well, the different setups definitely play a big factor when it comes to not only the team but to all the other drivers. So, any other final thoughts, shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, like I say every week, I appreciate you guys putting us on and sticking with us, and I appreciate Alex, Jeremy, and Justin for putting this whole thing together. And hopefully in the future we could be here next 10, 20 years or so. Who knows?
I don't know if I'm going to be broadcasting that long, but I guess we'll see. All right, Timothy, congratulations on the win. Get ready for Chicagoland, buddy.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, well, Brandon, that's going to do it here for the MaxSpeedTV post-race interviews. Let's get down here to the unofficial results, petty getting admin stuff here tonight. The Drive for Diabetes Awareness Check, Don't Guess. Visit them over at dfda.info for all the information for diabetes awareness. Then the Captain Boys Trucking unofficial results here tonight. Timothy Latham going to grab the win here this evening. Man, what a run for Timothy Latham. Awesome run here at Sonoma by everybody. But he will grab the win here this evening. Benjamin D going to finish in second. A teammate there, Justin Boyles, coming back there, Brandon, in the third. Oscar Jensen in fourth. Dakota Jorgensen in fifth. Zach York in sixth, Brian Syberry seventh, Joshua Witherspoon eighth, Dennis Nickel in ninth, and running out the top 10 here tonight is going to be Tim Hendry. Go ahead and finish this out here tonight, Brandon.
All righty, we had Luis Angel Lopez bringing it home in the 11th spot. Mark Kuda, despite his troubles, put together a 12th place finish, man. Good recovery on your part as well. Rick Webb, 13th. Chad Genningsman in 14th. Jason Tripp bringing it home 15th. Dennis Ansman, after a tough run throughout the race, brings it home 16th. Jeremy Boucher, 17th. My pick, Christopher Kimry, fell back, but he brought it home 18th. Alex Carlink, 19th. Travis Daly. I said that right at the time, right? Daly in the 20th spot. Bob Carroll rounds out our field in 21st.
All righty, folks. Well, congratulations goes to our winner here tonight, Timothy Latham, for round 17 of the Premier Private Car Service Cup Series for the iRacing Virtual Cup Series. Man, Brandon, what a run out there these guys had. But we go back to Oval next week, Brandon, and that's going to be Chicagoland. What's the mindset? Well, you're going to be racing as well next Thursday night, and I think they go to Chicagoland as well, don't they?
Yes, sir. We absolutely do.
Yeah.
And I think the mindset, just as those top three guys mentioned, there's a lot of stress on the table coming here. You're turning left, you're turning right. It's a long track, long race, a lot of opportunities for making mistakes. We kind of return home, so to speak, next week and back to the comfort zone for a lot of drivers. Chicagoland just, a little bit tricky, but your typical oval. Preparation goes back to just the same. You really don't prepare any less, so to speak, but a lot less stressful preparations. A lot less turns to worry about. Only 4 turns at Chicagoland. So, interested to see how these guys rebound from great finishes, rough finishes here. Put it all behind them and move forward into Chicagoland.
All right, well, we're going to take it into Chicagoland next week, folks, for the iRacing Virtual Premier Private Car Service Cup Series. Myself, Joshua Medlock, here on the mic for you here tonight, and Brandon Browning joining us yet again here this evening. Brandon, did you have a good time? I think you did.
Oh, I had a blast, man. This one was, I say that every week, and it gets more and more fun every time we come up here. I want to thank Josh Medlock and MaxSpeedTV for having me, Justin Boyles, Jeremy Boucher, those guys at IBCS for giving me the opportunity yet again. It's been a blast, and I look forward, and I'm thankful for every opportunity to be in the booth.
All righty, folks. Well, Brandon, I thank you. As always,
I thank
every
you as
Friday
well.
night, man. for coming up here. But that's going to end it here for MaxSpeedTV. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here tonight for some road course action here at Sonoma for the iRacing Virtual Premier Private Car Service Cup Series. But until next time, folks, right here on MaxSpeedTV, you know, I want to say this. We've got broadcasters here on MaxSpeedTV, folks, all across the board. Tune in, subscribe, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be, you know, notified when MaxSpeedTV goes live. We all put in a lot of time here, and we appreciate everybody's support, but you know, it's just not me. It's everybody here at MaxSpeedTV that do this. But until then, folks, stay safe and have a good night.